Cougars. It's David Rare in his 5th season as a head coach. This is a team that came in from the American Athletic Conference, and now big change for them, big step up.
Yeah, and they're going to have to face more physical opponents on the regular, and part of that is BYU, tall and long at the net.
And on the other side for BYU, there is Heather Olmstead in her 9th season as the head coach. Was here prior to that as an assistant coach, and boy, what she has done in her tenure in 9 seasons, and last year only making it to that 2nd round of the NCAA tournament. It was Pittsburgh. They had to go to Pittsburgh. Not an easy matchup there.
And they finally avenged that earlier this
yeah,
year, did BYU. Yeah, they've drawn kind of a tough draw, and Pitt, again, good this season. BYU, again, good this season. Of course, had an exciting finish to their conference final last year in this building against USD. I'm glad to be back for another one.
And now facing the number 20 team in the nation, the Houston Cougars, and the first set is up and over, and a break for BYU, the dig, and it went over and found a spot.
As an outside hitter, you have to be aware that that ball could come over the top and do something with it. Can't let it just pass you at the net.
That's Aria McCumber, the grad student, libero for the team tonight, playing defensive specialist in the back. And there is McEwen Laranis. Short, quick, and straight down into the middle. Middle has been a big key and a big plus for Houston as of late.
How they handle the ball is going to be important. Always is for teams to establish the middle, like to do it early. You like your middles to be involved offensively. The matchup against the serving of BYU is something to keep your eye on.
Deep serve. And the back set, it's tipped over. The block was there. Livingston had to take a bit off of that one. And a powerful swing in the finish. That's Abby Jackson. She leads the Houston Cougars in kills at 3.5%. So good start for Houston. It's absolutely what you have to do in this kind of an environment. And the overpass dug up by BYU. Free ball to Houston. You have
to kill this if you're Houston.
And close to the net, and they'll say, yep, violation against Houston, and you can't do that. They'll give it back to BYU. Tough break for the Houston Cougars. We got the Cougars on the Cougars here tonight, Kevin.
I think we might have the maximum number of Cougar matchups possible. BYU faced Washington State earlier.
That's true.
In the season. It's a maximum Cougar schedule.
Yeah, one of those ranked matchups for BYU, and that one down the line and good.
I always like comparing the actual mascot and which one looked more ferocious or could actually destroy the other in a fight. I thought that was a good way to compare teams in the tournament.
Beautiful back set by Cook. This is a Houston team that runs a 6-2, so we'll see a couple of different setters out there. Right now, it's number 18, Annie Cook. Back set, and Kate Pryor. Kate Pryor really coming on this year.
So, 3 things to watch in this match. First, Houston service pressure. They're really keying in on that. How can they destabilize BYU offensively, take away that middle attack? 2, watch the Houston outside hitters against the BYU pin blocking. Both of these outsides for Houston love to be aggressive, even off the net, which I really like from a standpoint of strategy. Just get up there and take a good cut.
Tough serve, handled, but back over, and that is Corelli with the tip down.
And finally, to your point a moment ago with Aaron Livingston, it's Aaron Livingston plus who for BYU on a nightly basis. They really haven't established that. I think if you're BYU, you want to see some other players lead or nearly lead in kills occasionally, not have Livingston doubling up on the next person for kills.
Yeah, great point. Here's Morgan Yonda. She's the other setter for Houston. And the passing, you got to give some credit to the serving by Houston, causing problems for BYU.
And that's the play there with a back row setter where you have to either call somebody over or you have to call a back row setter. In this case, it goes against BYU.
2-point Houston lead in this first set. And the first Big 12 match of the season, another overpass. Livingston couldn't handle the serve, and it's put down.
Dream start for Houston. Exactly what they wanted. To execute their game plan, they've done it to 6-3. Getting what she was used to, an offensive load in her previous school. It's an adjustment for the players as well as the new program.
Kenna Sauer transferred from Texas Tech this past season. She's already played in the Big 12, but now has the Houston jersey on. Serve from Yonda. See if BYU can make an adjustment, and the block is there this time. Abby Jackson sends it over and finds the opening.
Jackson doing a good job with her hands, just being patient, waiting for the ball to come down to her. She's not reaching too high. And the Sometimes you get into that mode where you want to reach higher when you're facing a Kate Pryor who's 6'4". You have to stay disciplined.
You're right about that. For a run for the Houston Cougars. And tough serving continues as that one didn't clear the tape. It'll go to BYU, and it stops the run. But a little damage done, and a lot of it because of the tough serve.
Definitely keyed by that, and I like the aggressive swing there by Moto. That's great. Do that. Continue with that, even through a couple of errors. That's a hallmark of the Pins for Houston, is take big cuts.
Both coaches talked about the serving game and how important it was going to be. And there is Kamaile Hiapo, a transfer to BYU from Arizona. Libero position. Outside, Claire Little has come in, 12 in white. Gets a piece of it, but cannot stop it, and that's a kill for Houston.
So far, the Houston Pins not only being aggressive, but keeping the ball high into the hands. They have not brought it down into the BYU block, and you can challenge the block. You just have to do it on the edges and up high. That swing was both.
Much better pass from Little. And she sends that one long, though. No touch. It'll stay with Houston.
So if I'm BYU, I'm going to set the ball a little bit tighter right now. You know that the Houston block is not as big as some other teams. Go ahead and set tight. Give Pryor the advantage. But you have to pass first.
Well, that has been the problem so far. And a block maybe going to bring a little momentum shift for BYU.
We like to highlight good choices from setters. This is a bad choice. Look how tucked in the BYU block is. They're waiting. There are two up there on the quick. You as a setter have to feel that, realize it, see it, and then go elsewhere. And
find somebody else, yeah, good point. Billiter has come in with the serve for BYU. Back set of the slide, and it's put down. That's Whitney McEwen-Lernis.
Talked about the rise of Livingston as we came in here. Lernis has been the same. She has really built into being a huge factor for the Cougars.
Grad student out of Bountiful, Utah. Over pass, and they'll say Yonda's not able to go up and over, and it'll go to BYU. So now a little run put together for BYU, and they're within two. Tough serve from Billiter. And again, that one was coming over. McEwen-Lernis right there and making sure. She looked to our up official, Patty Rolfe. Charles Fleet, our down official in this one.
This ball does a good job of falling off the shelf, but if you're on the Houston side, a ball that is past 4 feet off is much better than a ball that is past 1 foot over. And now a little bit of panic. We have a rotation violation.
So the violation called against Houston, and that's a plus for Heather Olmstead's team, and a 5-0 run for BYU, and they're right back in this. We're all tied up in this first set. David Rare's team came out charging, but BYU just slowly chipped away. Started giving back some of that tough serving they were seeing, and finding the back corner good, flying in, that's Kanasawa.
You'll see Houston go fast when they have a good pass close to the net, something that is in tempo, and that time definitely got some speed to the pin.
Houston regains the lead. Tolis with the serve, a deep one, and it finds the back line. Well, then Coach Rare told us that serving was going to be key, and they would have to mix things up. He wasn't kidding. Another tough serve. Off the hands was Claire Little. Back set in the tip. That was Mbanu. Oh, a beautiful dig to keep it alive. A great rally and some power down the line. That's Claire Little, one of the freshman additions for BYU.
A lot has been asked of Claire Little. As a freshman, you become a serving target so many times. And that's not only to get aces or destabilize the offense, it's to make your life more difficult, the freshman outside hitter, into trying to get into your hitting patterns. Claire Little has responded with a really nice start to her career.
Out of Winchester, California, as that serve just goes long for Aria McCumber. And we'll see if BYU chooses to challenge it. BYU said they thought it was absolutely in. So our officials will take a look. Charles Fleet to the monitor. Houston back up by 2.
This has been pretty much a perfect start for Houston. They've served the ball tough. They got a little bit of a lead. Now you say, well, they gave up all those points. Yeah, but that's what's going to happen. They know that. BYU is such a quality team. They know that that's going to happen. BYU is going to go on some runs. What they have to do is stay steady and keep serving BBs.
They're checking to see if this one caught the back line, and
that looked like it's in there on the very corner of the screen.
The very back right corner. And yep. So the challenge, a winner for BYU. And back to serve again, Aria McCumber. From the state of Hawaii, a transfer a couple of seasons ago from Washington State.
You don't even have to change your cheer at that point. Go
Really
Cougs.
Tip is up, little miscue up top. Big swing and a big dig up and over by Hiapu. Hiapu. In the back row, not able to finish that though.
This is a good choice. Talked about a bad choice earlier. That was an outstanding choice by Yanda. She's pulled off to her right side as this collision happened and generated the free ball opportunity. And she threw it up. That's a heck of a lot of faith shown in your outside hitter to throw a back set from that position to the pipe.
Definitely difficult, and Jackson in the back row able to get it done. That was Livingston, and a beautiful dig from Houston. Another tip. Yapo again with the dig, and an attempt is there, but they cannot save it. It'll go back to BYU. We're tied up once again.
If a point's going to go for rallies, the odds are BYU's going to win it. Every time a rally goes long, I think you get more of an advantage for the bigger, more physical team. I would like to see Houston be a little more efficient on those easy opportunities they've generated here. They have not really handled the ball at the level they need to in the easy plays.
Out the hands, the dig from behind. They'll say double contact, though, for BYU, and it goes back to Houston. So they're starting to look and go to Kenneth a bit more. And they know they have to mix up the attack. They cannot continue to just only go to Abby Jackson.
It is a pin-driven offense. It's those two players who you're going to see the majority of the time. Mbanu is going to chime in as well. They are a pin-driven team where BYU, their second best attacker in terms of kills is their middle.
Yeah, the middle has been incredibly consistent this year for BYU, but this time they go to Livingston.
I love the X1. Second time they've run that inside from the left where you're trying to pull that outside blocker inside. They're 1-1 on it.
Second kill for Livingston. Short, quick, and in the middle. And coming in is Mia Lee, another freshman with the big block.
Top shelf patience from Mia Lee here. That ball's off the net. Is it going to go middle? Should I go pin to pin? No, I'm going to stay with my responsibility first and then react quick on the read block.
Lee, one of 6 freshmen for BYU, and making an impact as that one goes wide. And BYU goes up by 2, their largest lead so far in this match.
I think Coach Rear had to have thought about a timeout here. If they give up one more, if it's 16-13, you're going to see a timeout, Houston.
Whitney Bauer, senior setter, with the service. As Houston goes out of the back, and this time it drops for Sauer.
You notice that Houston will use either outside hitter out of that back row middle attack. That opens up so much more of the court.
Georgiadis, the libero, with the service. Livingston has to take some off. And a quick swing on the outside by Jackson, but it goes long.
So there's the miss I'm talking about. You made a nice defensive play. You're in rhythm offensively. You got to kill that ball. You have to. As a team, collectively, you need to be hitting 800, 700 in perfect ball transition chances to score.
Yeah, when you're here and you're facing the number 10 team on their home court, a team that's not giving up more than 142 in hitting. As that was Pryor, tried to place it in a little opening and missed it just wide. Great for Houston. You got to be playing your best, though, and you have to play a clean game. So far, a clean start for Houston.
Yeah, efficient. Efficient is what you have to be in transition, right? You have to make BYU pay for every mistake, whether it's their own or one that you generated.
Morgan Yonda back on, the grad student and setter, and serves it long, and untimely service error gives it back to BYU. Transfer a couple of seasons ago out of Sam Houston. Miley Hiapo. Out of the back, the tip by Sauer. Beautiful save by Hiapo. And a big time swing there and finish. Once again, Claire Little back in. She and McEwen Lernis.
Hiapo made this play happen. This is all about the libero charging and diving under. We've seen this multiple times already in this first set. Hiapo is not to be tipped on at the moment.
And a timeout called. It's a 3-point BYU lead. It's time. They are now ranked the number 17 in the nation. We'll see if the Cougars from Houston can make some adjustments.
I'm going to the pin right now. I'm going straight to my hammer. I'm going to Abby Jackson.
All right, we'll see what they do. And they go out of the back to Sauer, an overpass, and at the net right there to send it back over. That's Nana Mbanu, rather. Transfer from Louisville.
And this was a near pickup again from Hiapo.
BYU doing a nice job digging it up, but couldn't finish. Tight serve, short, quick, and off the hands, good. That's McEwen Lernis with the kill.
But who passed it? That made the middle possible? That was Claire Little. They're working on her. They're going that 5-to-5 serve, and she put it on the money.
Claire Little, the freshman, 6'3", outside hitter. Passing it up. And there's the pass and the perfect put down.
So this is another smart set here because you got pushed in between positions 3 and 4. And so you're into this gap, and watch, Lernis doesn't follow. She stayed in the middle. And so that, again, is a vision thing from the setting position, a feel where the middle stayed. Okay, I can set the middle into this gap with nobody up effectively.
They've looked at their middles quite a bit this season as there's another service error, and it's finding that balance, right, of serving tough and being able to keep it in.
They got returns on it early, and unfortunately for them, the errors have come here late. But that's all right. They're good in this set. Just have to keep siding out.
BYU's done a nice job. There's Alana Torres-Rivera, who's also come in. Both teams going to their benches a bit more. Big swing and the kill. Kenna Sauer puts it away.
From a coaching staff perspective and a setter perspective, it's nice to have pins that are very similar. Both Jackson and Sauer are both quick. They're about the same size. They're fast on the ball. They're both driving it deep. That's a consistency element that's not present on every team.
And helpful, as you see Annie Cook coming back in to set. Helpful for the setters. Bauer trying to take that ball over. Houston was ready. Livingston had to reach behind a bit. And off the block and good. Kenna Sauer gets another one.
All right, go ahead and just put that swing in the dictionary on how to do it. Right there. There's a nice dig by BYU. Another diving save. But the swing to end it is just how you chisel the edges.
Fourth kill of the match for Kenna Sauer. The slide, the block there, though, to stop McEwen Lernis, and a free ball to Houston. Back set and down the line, Katie Corelli with a kill.
There's the run they needed.
They have tied this one back up, and BYU calls a timeout.
We talked to Coach Rare about Corelli and said, well, what about her numbers? He said, look at the last 3 matches. Look at the last 3 matches and what she's been able to do. We've been able to set the middle more and open up things.
He's from Kaysville and got a chance to come back home. They've got their signs. Oh, yeah, they've got the signs.
Nice scouting, KB.
There you go. Here's Annie Cook, senior setter. Yeah, the majority of Houston's team from the state of Texas. Livingston down the line and off the pipe, off the hoop.
Yeah, little pinball.
And a free ball to BYU. Livingston gets another chance, this time off the hands and down. So the timeout, a good one for BYU.
Yeah, BYU handling the ball better in that rally and able to generate more in-system opportunities.
Third kill of the match for Livingston. Short, quick, and out of play. It's a point for Houston.
This is the same attack. Same thing, slid into the 3-4 gap, and they go ahead and set a tight one to the setter. If you're BYU, the adjustment is you follow next time. You front the middle.
Helen Morin with the kill. Big blocker for Houston. She also can score as that one all the way across. And the point for Livingston and BYU. Back and forth, they regain the lead.
Yeah, this is just an outstanding kill. If you're Houston, you go, very nice. Appreciate it. We're going to side out.
Serve from Bauer. Pass was there. Block was there for BYU, but it's sent wide, and we're all tied up once again.
How many balls has Houston hit out on the pin so far? They haven't.
Yeah.
Challenging the block, not being scared of it, it's paid off.
It's been the key this first set. Back set, what an angle, and the shot down for Kate Pryor. Second kill of the match for Pryor.
Kate Pryor one-on-one is trouble. She was in the middle before. They discovered, oh, her arm is a lot better than a typical middle. And at that side, yeah, we should play opposite at 6'4", and her ability to move. I'm excited about what Kate Pryor is going to do long-term in her career.
Yeah, you know, they had to find a spot for her. You just can't have her sitting out. She was playing behind so many different players, and finally they said, okay, let's try opposite. Let's see how that goes. And it's been going pretty well.
Watch her in the blocking warm-up.
Yeah.
I don't want to hit against her.
That's right. Tied up again, 23 apiece. Here's Morgan Yonda. Pass from Livingston is right there. Little off the hands. And the back set, and it's good. That's Jackson with the kill.
That ball was too tight. Jackson, excellent footwork to get there, not end up under, and still took a high, flat cut to get to set point.
All-American honorable mention last year. Oh, and that one was close to that back line, but another service error will give BYU an opportunity as they tie it back up 24 apiece. Chance to take it for Houston, and instead it's all tied up. And that one, they'll say touch.
There might have been a touch, and that ball might have been in.
Yeah.
And this would be the all-inclusive challenge here. Okay, no touch.
Yeah, no touch on that. They'll have to take a look and see if it was in, but definitely Houston going to challenge this one. As his team adamant, but you always think somebody touches it, right? You always think it's in if it's on your side. Yeah.
Someone touched every ball I ever hit out of bounds.
Right?
For sure you touched it.
They probably did, Kevin. They probably did. All-American out of Pepperdine.
Yeah, if we're looking for a touch, that last angle said that there's no touch. There's no touch there. Now the question is whether it's in on the back line.
Right.
For me, and if that's even going to get seen while they're looking at the replay here.
Yeah, and they can look at both. They can bundle it. The line judge says no. Let's see what our down official Charles Fleet has to say. This is kind of a crucial moment of this set as well. And let's check out the back left corner. Ooh.
That ball's long.
Yep.
Unfortunate timing to not have an error throughout the entire set, and then to miss it on set point. I think it's going to be BYU up 1-0.
Yep, I think you're right. Crowd trying to make some noise. They're trying to show the replay here, and they haven't quite had that angle that we did. And yep, they'll say it was out. And so the challenge not going to go in the favor of Houston, and that puts BYU at set point. And it gets the crowd on their feet. Iapo with the deep serve. Tip is there, Bauer was there for it. Back set to Little, and she's able to get that one down the line and good. Took a couple extra, but BYU comes back charging. They take set one. Brought in a few extra passers, and then they started to clean it up. And you mentioned Iapo, she was spectacular for BYU and really allowed them to get into their offense. We'll see if Houston has an answer in this one. A couple of serving errors and a 3-0 run to finish that first set as that second ball taken over. A little trickery there by Annie Cook.
I'm not a fan of that play.
No.
Not because it's Cook or Houston. I'm not a fan of the back row set over. Is it below the net? Is it above the net?
Yep.
It's been an area of focus this year for the officials.
Another close serve to the back line. They'll say it goes long for Kanasawa to go back to BYU. Yeah, they've been trying to keep their eyes on that play in particular, and it's becoming a more popular, a more popular go-to. Well, you were a hitter. I'm sure you would have preferred that they get the ball to you. But
there's been a lot of illegal plays that have scored points over the last 2 years in the women's game. Lots. And in important matches, too, in playoff implications or the NCAA tournament.
Houston gets this one back. Abby Jackson with the kill. Giadas, deep serve. And begging for the touch, but not going to get it.
So I want you to notice they had an error on their first serve, Houston. Second one, what happened? Same deep kind of serve. It was going to be in, so there was a bad pass for BYU. Again, a little bit of courage and sense when you're serving to stick with the aggression.
Yep, that was the difference. And service ace. They're listening to you, Kevin. Georgiadis with the service ace, her 10th on the season. And a timeout for BYU. They had a slow start in set one. They're having a slow start here. How about Baylor? Baylor's going to be the next opponent for this BYU team. They'll have them on this Saturday. Their schedule is brutal as out of the timeout, Livingston connects.
So I talked about the footwork of Livingston coming in, and this is on display here. The ability for her to turn that ball down the line. The block was in the right spot for that X1 play, but Livingston got underneath the ball and wicked slap to the line.
Good serve from Bowers, a beautiful pass though, and then taking a little off. That's Tolis finding the opening in the middle.
Same gap. They're going to keep setting that ball into that 3-4 gap as long as BYU is not going to front. So unless Heather Olmstead and the crew change tactics, you're going to see a lot more of threes or when the ball is passed into that space, ones.
Her team, they trailed 4-9 in set one, and then they went on a 5-0 run to get back in and tie it up, and then it was just back and forth as that one goes long. Another point for Houston.
And another bad pass for BYU.
Yeah. Tough serving, leading to passing problems early in these first two sets for BYU. That one much better. Back set, off the hands. Kate Pryor with the kill.
A few things impressed me about Kate Pryor. Her footwork and her arm speed at 6'4". Special player.
Well, you mentioned she played a lot of middle. They moved her to the opposite. She's kind of one of those players that just she'll do anything, whatever the team needs kind of attitude, and it's paid off for her. Beautiful one-handed save by Bauer. The block there, though, to shut Pryor down on that one. Houston has been out blocking their opponents this season, but so has BYU. That's been a big factor for both of these teams. what an angle. Coming around on that one was Kate Pryor, but it started with that pass, because that was a tough serve, I thought, coming in from Jackson.
This one rolled off the kitchen counter, and BYU had to stab underneath it. That ball might have been wide.
That was Brielle Miller in the back, the freshman, with the pass. Oh, and not able to get out of the way. Kenna Sauer wanted to let it go at the last minute, and a service ace for Hiapo, her 9th on the year.
What kind of impact can a libero have on a match? Service line in the women's game, as our ace guy gets out all of his signs, and also all the defensive and coverage.
Love it. We met the ace guy prior. He's got the signs. Second ace for the Cougars of BYU. Back set, and having to adjust was Mbanu. But Little this time gets underneath it and sends it long.
The crowd did not like the ball in the middle of that rally that hit the cable. It did, in fact, touch a BYU player. You notice no one complained on the BYU side.
Back to serve. That was Tolis, and serves it just long. And some of those serving errors at the wrong time in set one really hurt Houston.
Houston's got to stick with it. They have to stick with it. You're going to take some errors, but you're going to create a lot of bad passes. You need the BYU offense to be off the net.
Tolis comes off. Tip up and over by Sauer. And they go way outside to Little. Block there to send it back. She gets another chance, and again, the block for Houston. What a save by Yonda. And a block by BYU, puts it down. McEwen Lernis, the grad student out of Bountiful, Utah.
Excellent reset from Little on the outside a couple of times, working into that block.
Block from BYU, sends it back from Mbanu, and diving save, but they can't keep it in play. Houston gives that one up, and BYU back in this one, all tied up.
Problem for the Houston offense right now is they're setting the ball too low. That ball is too low, especially against the BYU block. A number of times now they've gone too fast and too low into a big block. It has to be a little higher.
Short, quick, the pass right where they needed it. That's Morin with the kill.
And they're setting both middles into that same gap. I would start even to pass to that point, no problem. I'm running all gaps and all passes into the 3-4 zone. They have not been stopped yet in that space with a quick attack.
Houston fans with the signage. Abby Jackson, Annie Cook back in now to serve and set. Slide from McEwen. Lernis works. All tied up again. She's coming off of a match with 8 kills, no errors against Utah State.
And maximizing the height of Lernis there, the length. Perfect relationship with the ball in that backslide.
3 kills for McEwen Lernis. Tough serve, but Sauer able to save it. And that one goes long. BYU takes the lead.
All of this feels very familiar.
It really does.
BYU trailed 4-9 in the first set, came back tie at 9-9. It's almost identical here.
It really is.
Too low again.
Starts it, that one wide. Houston asking for the touch. They've already lost one challenge. Will Coach Rare go for another?
I wouldn't go for it. Don't beg for touches here. Set the ball a little higher. Give your outsides a chance. That's how it was early in this match, and they were taking some cuts. You have quality outsides. Let him take a big swing.
He's not going to take a chance. It's a 6-1 BYU run. Trying to add to it. And that time, second ball, but Hiapo right there with the dig and the save. Outside, they go to Corelli, but the double block on the other side waiting.
And MVP to this point on the BYU side, since they're ahead 1-0 and leading that in this set now, is Kamaile Hiapo. Time and again, she has gotten underneath the ball, and not only underneath, she's underneath with two hands, going full dive to keep the ball alive and create opportunities for the Cougar block to finish.
Well, the block was just waiting for Corelli, and it's a 7-1 run and a 3-point BYU lead. So Houston calls the timeout. Last night, Dallas eliminating Atlanta. And Dallas and Las Vegas, an interesting matchup. Dallas defeated Las Vegas in the regular season, so it's going to be a fun rest of the playoffs. See what happens here for Houston if they can make an adjustment out of this timeout. They go outside to Kenna Sauer. And they go low and inside, but Morin gets it blocked straight back. Oh, the read was perfect by McHugh Larness. What did you say just moments ago?
Adjusted. BYU adjusted. Larness is standing right there. Look, she fronts, she stays, she sees it, shuffles to the right, and reaches to her right. An adjustment made on the BYU side.
With perfect movement by Larness. Off the net, it's going to be a free ball. McHugh Larness tips it down. The overpass presents the opportunity.
This is a danger point for Houston. This really is. In the momentum of this set and maybe the match, the errors creeping in, the unsure plays. You see everybody at the net in the no man's land there, unable to really make a play on the joust. This could get away from them. They have to make some plays. They're in trouble. I'd call another timeout.
It's a 10-1 run for BYU. And it doesn't look like they're going to call the timeout here.
So the advantage to fronting, if you're going to run the middle into that space, is when it gets set outside, Larness is already there.
Block has been huge. Good read to tip it. A beautiful save, and now trying to tip it down. BYU digging everything. Free ball. Oh, some power on that one, and a free ball. And again, big dig by BYU. Hiapo keeps it alive again. What a rally. Overpass. Oh, BYU. Oh, they have gotten this crowd into it as well. Can't say enough about the defense by the BYU Cougars.
Can I get a t-shirt with Kamaile Hiapo on it, just full stretch in the air? Please, somebody at BYU put those out. She's the MVP.
Kamaile Hiapo with 7 digs. And a big lead for BYU. Oh, and it just keeps the momentum building. Big run for BYU.
Take it back a point to go. There's a kick save off of the not quite gator, and then this one's my favorite. The touch, still charging, diving the whole way, and ended up netting the point on that throwdown. Boy, what a job Kamaile Hiapo has done in that left back, time and again. Not only defense, but coverage. She has been perfect. She
has been everywhere. That last kill by Livingston, her 7th of the night and her 1,000th in her career. And you talk about Kamaile Hiapo, the transfer in this season from Arizona. She led Arizona last year with 492 digs, 1,655 in her career. She was impressive.
Program, a training program. The history of BYU volleyball, men's and women's, is that they are training programs and bring players in with talent and coach them up and make it exceptional.
Yep, they certainly do. Heather Olmstead's brother Sean coaches the men's side. He was the head coach on the women's side for some time before she took over. See if Houston can make their adjustments. Back set, the block was there, sent back. That was Corelli with the attempt. And out of system, Sauer sends it long. It's a 13-1 run for BYU.
Just a nice spot by Livingston. One-on-one.
Well, she followed it all the way over. Sauer gets another chance. Hiapo with the dig and the save, and Livingston give her another one. She leads this team in kills with 4%.
The unfortunate thing for Houston right now is that set was good. That swing was quality. BYU just made a better play. McEwen Lernis with the set. And then you have the best arm on the BYU side taking a swing. It's all BYU.
And this run continues, and the block continues by BYU. Livingston was there. I'm not sure if they're going to get that one to her, if they cleared or not. Either way, the point goes to BYU. Sauer right at the block again, and you were talking about that set just a little too low. The block for BYU's been reading it.
Everybody's trying to go fast. Everybody thinks they want to go fast all the time. Well, this is the price you pay when you try and go fast. Some large percentage of your sets are too low.
Sauer, this time off the fingertips, gets the touch, and that stops the run. A 13-0 run for BYU. Finally, Houston able to stop it.
How different is the world if you set the ball high and you have outside hitters with arms? Well, you can work off the tops of the fingertips. You can work off the edges.
We're finally able to do that for Sauer. Now here is Brashana Brown, who's come in to serve. Bowers, I could tell from where I was sitting, she was going to take that one over. Whitney Bauer, the senior setter.
Whitney Bauer being offensive at the net is kind of like, yes, the sun came up and then it went down, and in between, Whitney Bauer had 6 kills in a match. She is that player at the setting position.
Yeah, they said she's really the calming effect for this team out on the floor, the heart of the team. As the serve goes long, it'll go back to Houston.
Well, she's left-handed, so she can turn and swing, turn and dump with a lot more comfort than a right-handed player at that position.
Family of Bowers have come through BYU. Her grandfather, her parents. She's had multiple sisters, and she's able to take that one over as well. And they're going to call double contact on Houston. It'll go back to BYU. All Big 12 preseason pick was Whitney Bauer. She and Erin Livingston for BYU. A couple for Houston as well. Kenneth Sauer and Kate Georgiadis. Wow, how big has Livingston been on the other side of the net?
No promises to a complete 6 rotation outside hitter. That swing block move is the stuff of training. That is how you do it.
Set point for BYU. And there is Tolis in the middle to take it back. They got a long road to go, but not giving up on it just yet. Morganyonda back on. She'll go back to serve. Set point number 2 for BYU. A tough set to handle, but it's Mbanu getting it done. Finds the opening in the middle. Houston fans on their feet. Not one to give up just yet, but another set point for BYU. And the service goes long, and that will do it for set number 2. Close early on, but a 13-0 run for BYU, and they take set number 2 and go up. And they've been really trying to go to others and get others involved to take some of the pressure off of her shoulders this season. But she's a constant that they're going to look to when they're down, and they've been down in both of these first 2 sets of this one, as set 3 is ready to go. See if Houston has enough in him as Livingston's able to get a touch and another kill.
You always need that hitter that can just hit you out of a bad spot, and that's what Livingston is for BYU. Everyone knows where the ball is going, and yet she is still successful.
You think you know they're going to do it? Can we not slow her down as McEwen Lernis back? She's been very good at the net, and so has the block of BYU and Mia Lee, who's come back in. Mia Lee, the freshman, hasn't played a lot, but she's been significant.
She only had to take a half a step to get there. She's almost all the way to the right front even before that play.
Lee.
That's excellent pre-positioning.
But quick arm, but big block. And big serving, the service ace for McEwen Lernis. Her third on the season. And there's the ace guy with the signage.
Rack him out. Start handing out some stickers.
And a big start, the 3-0 start for BYU. They have just that one loss on the season. They have faced now.
A middle back dig, yes.
Oh, and there's Livingston.
McEwen Lernis is living that middle life right there. This is a dream opportunity for a middle to get to play middle back and then make a perfect dig.
Got it done. Found the opening to Livingston. 4-0 BYU start. Good serve. The back set, won the touch, not going to get it.
You got to call a timeout.
Yep, and Banu sends it long, and it's a 5-0 start for BYU in this third set. And yep, Coach David Rare says, let's start over. BYU up 2-0. They're up 5-0 to start the third. We'll take the timeout as well.
And Halloween's coming up, so.
Right? Any thoughts on your end?
Well, I was Big Bird last year, and I was the Jolly Green Giant the year before.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what to do now. What about you?
Something tall. You know, you're going to have to ponder that.
Okay.
You're going to have to ponder that.
We've got time.
We do.
In this BYU run.
I don't know.
There's Mitch.
Hey, there's Mitch. He's loving it. I love that he embraces it and he goes with it, and they seem to have quite the relationship. They list Whitney at 6'3", so Mitch.
Mitch is loving this run is what he's doing right now. He's excited about what's happening on the court.
Livingston, Bauer sends it over. Short, quick, and down. A much needed kill. That's Abby Jackson. She'll go back to serve.
So Houston has to find a way to kind of take a breath. Get just a couple of plays back. You can't get the whole thing back in one, so just trying to live from contact to contact, not even point to point.
Yeah, you go down 6-0. It can be a little overwhelming, but reading that one, Whitney Bauer found the opening. Puts that one away.
The problem you're going to have if you're Houston right now is that BYU has a lot of weapons, and as soon as they pass the ball effectively, they can use all of them. And unfortunately for the Houston Cougars, that includes the setter.
Yeah, when the serving has been there and they have caused problems with the pass, they've been able to score, but the passing has definitely cleaned up for BYU. Diving attempt, but not able to get it, was McCumber. And it's a point for Houston. Chipping away.
Well, they're going to have to. This is going to be a long road to getting back in this match emotionally first, on the board second.
Tolos goes back to serve. She became the all-time leader in blocks, as not able to get out of the way was Kate Pryor on that one.
But and the reason this happens is a lot of teams now have taken to running their opposites in rotation one over to the right side, and she's trying to get there, and she ends up getting shot like a carnival duck. Almost got her again.
Yep, got out of the way that time. The block puts it down. So Houston on a little run.
Keep serving into that lane. You want to keep making it difficult for the opposite to get over there and force BYU maybe to keep her on the left.
I mean, Pryor at 6'4", yeah, and she's going to try to make the run again. And you can see her ducking down, trying to dodge the serve. A single hand and a beautiful read by Mia Lee. She just punches that one over. There's Claire Little into the front. And it's Livingston back to serve. David Rare is doing some nice things. 30 wins last year, winning the American Athletic Conference. Making a run in the NCAA tournament. Livingston out of the back. And that one just long. This is something they've added and worked on to bring in for BYU is bringing her out of the back.
And every team is doing that. That's ported over from the men's game in the last 10 years, is trying to establish that back row middle attack. The athletes have gotten better at hitting it. The setters have gotten better and more confident at setting it. It really does open up. You notice there was not a well-formed block in front of that attack.
Another good serve and a free ball to Houston. So chances here. It was off the block, diving, one-handed save. That one good from Miller. And just under it a bit much, Corelli. What a diving save in the back. Brielle Miller, the freshman, who's come into the back row in this one.
And you just have to keep the wheels churning. You know you may not get there, just keep going. I've loved the defense on the BYU side. Heather Olmstead has to be nothing but pleased with her effort in the back row.
Yeah, incredible hustle. Into the middle, blocked right back. They move it outside and down the line, they'll say wide, and Houston asking for the touch. And it looks like Coach Rare is going to go for the green card in the challenge. He lost one earlier in the match. See if he can get this one.
You can use it as a de facto timeout as well.
True.
You scrap back for a couple of points, but you have a long ways to go here. You'd hate to take another error on your side.
Yeah, they just got back into it.
I don't see anything there. I don't see the pinky of Kate Pryor taking a touch.
That one just kept spinning and turning out. I don't see it either.
Yeah, the ball is definitely out, so it's all about what's happening at the net.
This ought to show us.
I didn't see anything in any of those three looks that tells me that ball was touched. I think in the first look we had, you would have seen the pinky of her right hand get bent back. That's where the touch would have been. And I think this is going to be a BYU point, as called.
So you can see Coach Rare talking with Kellen Morin. Boy, the outreached arms of Kate Pryor.
Remember, the officials can freeze and zoom in and all kinds of. That one to me is clear as day, that that pinky is passed, pushed over the net while that ball is being hit past her.
Kenna Sauer is trying to make some contact with Pryor. Pryor, though, that length, that was something coming into this one that Coach Rare said he knew. You know, they are so long. He said, we're going to try to take away one side or the other from them if we can and just not let them have the perfect game. But that is easier said than done.
But early on, the setting for Houston was higher, and the outsides were able to have a fair amount of success against that. Kenna Sauer was hitting off the edges of the block, and Abby Jackson was hitting off the top fingers of the block, getting balls to go deep over the defense. And we've just seen set after set be super fast and low, and BYU is getting touches or errors or straight down stops.
Yeah, you're right, and you can see it. I mean, it not to take anything away from their block, but their block is there. They are reading it perfectly, and that's really been the difference for me. That's what turned things around in the first set. And we'll see what, and they will say. Charles Flint says there was a touch. So
and again, I'm completely wrong on replay. You know, that's nothing new.
You know, you had a 50-50 chance. It's okay.
Well, see, they can freeze, zoom in, catch a frame. We don't have that same privilege.
That's true. So overturn, that's a good thing for Houston. And Coach Rare, they're within 3. Oh, and catching the back line out of that break. The service ace for Kenna Sauer. 4th on the season. And now within 2. You said it earlier, you can't get it all back. They went down 6-0 to start this set. They've just slowly been patient. Bump set up. Outside to Little. And a good job by the double block to get a hand on it, and they find an opening in the back, and it's Houston within 1.
Did someone yell jumbo? The old beach shot, jumbo to the corner. Just smartly done in kind of a scramble play. Put it to a difficult spot, whether it's a kill or not. You're just trying to keep your opponent off balance.
Serve, beautiful pass. And they try to go to the middle. McHugh and Lernis.
Appropriately for Cougars, scratching and clawing their way back in here.
There's something about 9-9, and we've seen this in the first 2 sets. It went to the favor of BYU, but the service error gives it right back to BYU. Wow. BYU led 6-1, and then Houston back and forth, an 8-4 run got right back in it. There's Billiter, back to serve. Side rolled it over, the block there. What a read by McEwen-Lernis.
Quick feet by McEwen-Lernis. Get the block, get right back up, and instead of tipping, rolling, pushing, take a swing.
Another good serve from Billiter to cause problems on that pass, and that shot goes wide from Corelli. Junior from Kaysville. Continue to serve to Kennesawer. Is looking for the touch and gets it. Abby Jackson with the kill. BYU saying, I don't think we touched it. And I think that now Heather Olmstead's going to challenge.
All right, I'm going to muster a little courage to take another swing at the challenge here. I'm going to stick with my game plan.
All right.
All right. Our crew's done a good job of getting us some looks. I'm going to be better at finishing the play. All right. I got a perfect set last time, and I hit the ball out of bounds.
It happens to the best of us.
So that ball had no spin on it. I noticed that. And that looks just wide there.
Yeah. I think so too.
I think what Abby Jackson is trying to do there is go high flat off the hands.
Yeah, definitely no touch there. Hiapo was definitely out of the way, but you can see our line judge saying that it was in, that it caught the line. It was very close. He is right up on the line.
That gives us a chance for the sing-along portion of this match.
It really does. They get into it here, all 3,714 inside Smithfield House. That one is so close. Charles Fleet, our down official, taking a nice long look. I'm with you though, Kevin. I think that one was just barely wide. To see if it caught that outer edge of the line. And another successful challenge by BYU. The crowd loving it. Extends the lead back out. Hannah Billiter is a sophomore. She's come into this match and served some very good, tough balls to handle. She did it early when BYU was down in that first set.
That's been consistent from her all year. She's been a threat from the service line.
The quick side there, and the finish for Kellen Morin. Junior from Hickory, North Carolina.
And she's trying to get it going here. They need to get some pumpitude on their side here. It's only 3-point difference. This is a close third set. It didn't feel like it early, obviously.
Yeah, it certainly didn't. Oh, perfect set and straight down. McEwen-Lernis with a big swing and kill.
This third set has been the 2-1 show. From the service line, digging balls in the back row, blocking and swinging. It's quite a moment for a middle.
All WCC first team member last year was Whitney McEwen-Lernis. BYU moving into the Big 12 out of the West Coast Conference. Pancake successful. Hiapo and Houston keeps it alive. And they are able to tool it off the block. That one looked like BYU was going to get it. Instead, Houston stayed with it.
Kamali Hiapo again. This time off the elbow. She's so far there with the pancake, came off her elbow.
Just a little bit late, McEwen-Lernis on the block. Bowers had to hustle, and she's into the net. And Houston continued to chip away. They pull within 2.
So no matter what happens in this third set, I love the response from Houston.
Yep.
I love the maturity of this team. They are who we thought they were. They got blown out. That happens to everybody here and there in that second set. How would you respond becomes the question. I think they've responded well.
Yep. I think that's...
Because that carried forward to the beginning of the third. It could really have gotten out of hand. And Houston has not allowed that.
Yep, they have not. They have not hung their heads and just given up on it as Livingston gets back into this one. Took a little off and just not able to handle it in the back row. 6 kills, or 11, excuse me, for Aaron Livingston. Trying for another. Defense gets a hand on it. And Livingston, give her 12 kills on the match. Going to the go-to.
Volleyball is a game of contacts. Somebody makes a contact, you have to make a better contact. That's fine, that dig is fine, but this bump set is perfect, and watch the swing. Again, she loves that line in transition, gets her feet under it, and chips the edge of the block. Definition of how to swing in transition.
Powerful swing and able to get it to drop. Abby Jackson gets another one. Eight kills for her on the match. She'll go back to serve. Grad student out of Gig Harbor, Washington. And just misses that back corner. They know they have to serve tough if they're going to do some damage, but the errors have hurt them as well.
That's her serve, 5-5. Has a ton of success with that. Remember, we're at altitude. Things are going to carry just a touch further.
That's true. They did a lot of serving and passing prior to the match. They had practice last night, trying to get used to the differences.
I thought it was a Japanese professional team out there because
they spent a lot of time on the floor.
Oh my goodness. Not only that, but if you go to play in Japan, you go to play the national team, or you go to play professionally, you walk in with your bag for the match and they are running a practice. And then if you beat them, they run another practice afterwards. Yeah, Houston spent a lot of time working in a practice before this match started.
But again, a serve that goes long. Gives it back to BYU. The first of 4 straight ranked teams that BYU is going to face, as that one's mishit by Mbanu. They've got Baylor, number 18, coming in on Saturday, and then they have to go to Texas. And because of the way the Big 12 does their scheduling, they'll have back-to-backs against number 9 Texas in Texas.
We're going to know a lot about BYU shortly. We learned some here so far tonight.
Yep. That's the good thing, I think, for both of these teams. Houston's going to take a lot out of this one as well, to kind of get that judge and see where you are. Pryor off the hands. Bump set, but wide. Too much for Morin. BYU first to 20. And a timeout called by Houston. They have your players' experience in this kind of atmosphere. Livingston back to serve. And give her an ace. Aaron Livingston with her 10th service ace on the season.
He's having himself a night, isn't he, the ace guy?
Ace guy. Oh, we brought enough cards.
He introduced himself. He didn't say, my name is Tom or John or...
Nope.
Yeah, he just said, I'm the ace guy.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Gave us a sticker. It was nice.
Yeah.
As the serve goes long, it'll give it back to Houston. BYU's been pretty efficient serving tonight. They've toughened up the serving as well.
Well, they haven't shown a lot of holes in any part of their game.
They really haven't.
They weathered a couple of nice runs with Houston making plays. Then BYU came back and made plays. If you didn't see that second set, there was a huge run, but it was all about BYU making plays.
Set to Pryor, and she's got the right angle. And enough on that one for the kill. Big smile on the face of the sophomore.
Tough swing because the ball is coming from over your shoulder. It's going towards the net. You're trying to track it both vertically to the net and horizontally across the net, and then pick a good angle to hit at. And you really don't know where the block is because you're looking up. You can't see. You just have to take a good cut.
Off the hands, keeping it alive is Bauer. Dump set to Little, and the block by Houston sends it back. They could use more of that. Kellen Morin, the junior, was there.
And Morin's tried to be the vocal leader here. She's tried to bring some excitement after good plays, when her side has scored. Yeah, they need the emotion. They're not out, but time is wasting.
Yep. Got to get some stops. That'll help. Service ace as Brashana Brown had just come in with the serve. First service ace on the season for her. Good timing by Brown. Back set Pryor. Wow, straight down. Oh, Kate Pryor fired up. So's his crowd. I wouldn't get in front of that one, Kevin.
It looked like a warm-up swing, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did.
It's fun to get a hold of one like that.
But Pryor coming into this one hitting 242, but the last 3 matches she was hitting 389. Her numbers have been going up. Little off the block. Gets another chance off the fingertips. This time gets it to go. And it is match point BYU. Just missing long. Hannah Billiger's been so good with the serve. Match point number 2 for BYU. Pass is there. Dig in the save and the block once again. And guess who? McEwen Lernis puts it down. And the first conference win in the Big 12 for BYU. And 1 on the season, Kevin.
Putting an exclamation point on this victory over the Houston Cougars, who came in as a ranked opponent.
आंसुआ गिरे छे दिलवारो वही जान
गंगाजल रिकॉर्डिंग स्टूडियो महादेवगंज साहिबगंज
तोरा याद में आंसुआ बहे छे दिलवारो वही जान गिरान तोरा याद में आंसुआ बहे छे दिलवारो वही जान
गंगाजल रिकॉर्डिंग स्टूडियो महादेवगंज साहिबगंज
केकरा सहारे रहबै केकरा से तू बोलिया बोलबै अशोक अकेला के कहलू कि साथ न छोड़बे के करा सहारे रहबे के करा से तू बोलिया बोलबे अशोक अकेला के कहलू कि साथ न छोड़ब के रानी सोनी लागे आंसुआ गिरैले देहिया काप के लगे जा के रानी हमर अखिया से